always the only radiology, gynecology is the only gynecology, medicine man does only medicine. Problem apna. Why? Because we have a whole or plethora of options that are available, right from not doing anything to doing everything under the sun. So that's a big problem as to what is it that you need to do in life. And believe me that at least 50% of people who are sitting here will do perhaps something different than the education that they are undertaking right now. That does not, however, mean that the education that you are undertaking right now is going to be useless. Not at all so. It's as foolish as saying that, well, if I am learning, let's say, calculus today, what role does it have to play in my future life? That's a foolish and a stupid argument. For the simple reason that mathematics basically teaches you how to solve the problem within a given set of constraints. If you have that training, in that case, you will definitely be faced with many more complex problems in life where you are required to make a decision within a given set of constraints. And that time, somebody who is good at mathematics is the person who will be able to solve that problem of life much more competently and easily. The first proposition that I am trying to place before you is kindly develop as much as your ability permits the problem solving skills. Very important in my opinion. And that's because we all belong to a class-based society. Unfortunately, we carry this class-based system even into our actions. And that is why when somebody comes, we say that here comes a civil engineer, or here comes a mechanical engineer, or here comes a data scientist, here comes a computer science engineer. We try to put people in different buckets. Whereas in reality, when it's time to solve the problem, you need skills from variety of fields. If I am to build, let's say, a robot, just my knowledge of mechanical engineering doesn't help. I need knowledge of electronics, I need knowledge of computer science, I need knowledge of manufacturing sciences. So all of these different walks of life try to gather together to create ultimately a robot which works. Point I am trying to make is that you should try to inculcate within yourself ability to solve problems rather than saying that this is my field and I work only in this field. Some of you might think, well, it's easier said than done. Not at all so. You will find that there are so many people working in so many different walks of life whose education was something else and they are doing something different. Until my intake level, I just come to computer science and I try to one person reads 40 different subjects, other person learns 40 other subjects. Other than that, there is hardly any difference between the two, at least at 10 to 11. So if you are willing to go that extra mile and read, learn, listen to something which is not belonging to your field of education, I am sure that you will be able to understand that quite easily. And today there are a number of resources available at your school which will help you along the way. What is important is that you should be able to solve the problems. If you look at YouTube, there is a very good video available on YouTube by a gentleman known as Donald Irving Nutt. And Donald Irving Nutt happens to be the grandest of all old granddaddies of computer science. He is a professor emeritus at Stanford. If you look at that video, you will find that he is teaching a class. In that class, there are about 15-20 different students. And he announces in the very first class that the fact that you are joining my class, you have taken my course, it means you have enough knowledge. All of you are guaranteed pass in 8th grade. After that, he gets up and writes down 10 problems on the blackboard. And at the end of those 10 problems, he announces that these are as yet unsolved problems of computer science, nobody has been able to solve them. And in this semester, we will gather together and you and I together will try to solve these 10 problems. I don't guarantee that we will be able to solve all 10, but if you can attempt and solve about 2-3, in that case, field of computer science will go in leaps and bounds. That is the impact that he can make. In his class, there are people who are from hotel management, there are people from computer science, there are people from mechanical engineering, people from all walks of life. If they can gather and attempt to solve a problem in computer science, there is no reason why anybody cannot learn things and try to address the concerns of computer science. Same applies to all other fields as well. So to try to act as a spawn and try to get as much knowledge as you can from all possible directions to all the resources available at your disposal. National science data science appears to be one such good resource. So try to make most of it. Second proposition that I should place before you is, if you do not know something, and there are any number of things that you do not know, try to acknowledge the fact that you do not know it. If you start acknowledging the fact that you do not understand a particular topic, that's the place from where, or that's the point from where your learning will begin. In a room which is packed with, let's say, computer science people, if I am part of the discussion, at the end of that discussion, 45-minute discussion, I always try to raise my hand and say that, well, whatever you guys were discussing for the last 45 minutes, I have not understood anything of it. I can say that because I am by education mechanical engineer. The moment you acknowledge the fact that you do not know something or you are not something or not understood something, in that case, many people will come forward and help you. But you have to have the courage and the conviction to say that, well, I have not understood this. I plan to. I have all the good intentions to do that, but kindly help me. If you go with that particular motive in the field, you will find that there are enough number of people who will be willing to help us. So one is problem solving, and the second is the fact that you should acknowledge the fact that you do not know something. Thirdly, do not ever discount customer experience no matter how much knowledge you have. You are right now undertaking undergraduate education, later on some of you might do postgraduate education, some of you might even go on your PhD. But even when you have that much knowledge, do not ever discount the customer experience. Because you may have spent time understanding the theory, he is the man who has tried to understand the practicality of it. Let me give you a couple of examples of it. Our company had built a software for a very famous university in our state, Maharashtra, where right from the registration process up to the examination process, we had built the entire system for them. When we were about to get that contract, there was a meeting held where all the registrars and chief of examination board and many professors, all of them had gathered. The vice chancellor gave a good speech, and at the end of it, they asked me that, do you have any questions for all of us, now that we are awarding the contract to you? I told them, no, I have no questions for you, because I know that you are never going to use my system. At the end of that meeting, I gathered all the clerks that were working in the university and had a meeting with them. And I started asking them, each particular clerk, let's say clerk from examination department, I asked him, sir, tell me what are your pain points? When you use a system, what is it that you face a problem with? And he gave me a good ground reality check. He said that my biggest problem is that I am in charge of issuing mark sheets and degrees. And when a student comes, he is perhaps not the best student. He comes after 25 years, 6 years ago. And then he is demanding a degree certificate. So I said, there is nothing wrong with it. He said that I don't pay this degree. So I tell him, okay, give me your university enrollment number, or I tell you, give me an application, get it signed with your parent, get the affidavit done. You use the following translator. Access to the information he does not have. That's the real